In the year 2000, 550 horsepower was enough to make grown men cry. In 2025, that wouldn't even get you a seat at the table. Today, we're going to go through the most powerful cars released each year since 2000. Starting with year 2000, the Lamborghini Diablo VT 6.0. Now, before anyone comes at me in the comments, yes, I know the McLaren F1 with 627 horsepower BMW V12 built between 1992 and 1998 was technically the most powerful production car in existence in that year 2000, and it had been for nearly a decade. But this video isn't called the reigning horsepower champion every year. If it was, then the F1 would hold the 2000 and the 2001 easily, but that's not what we're doing here. The list is about the most powerful car released each year. The F1 wasn't released in 2000, so the crown goes somewhere else. The Lamborghini Diablo VT 6.0 SE had 550 horsepower, monstrous 6-liter V12. This was Lamborghini's farewell to the Diablo era, and they sent it off with everything they had. Could it beat the F1? No, but it was the most powerful new car you could buy that year, and it's an absolute legend in its own right. 2001, the Lamborghini Murcielago. Now, in 2001, the Lamborghini kills the Diablo and immediately drops something even crazier, the Murcielago. Named after the legendary fighting bull that survived 24 sword strokes in 1879 bullfight, and this car had the same won't die energy. It has a 6.5 liter V12 with 572 horsepower. And yes, again, the F1 is still sitting there with 627 horsepower and still, technically the most powerful car alive. But that is not what the video is about. It wasn't a new release in 2001. And at that point, the F1 had been holding the crown for almost 10 years. Someone needed to step up and actually challenge it, which is going to happen here in a bit. You know this car if you played Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, or Midnight Club in the 2000s. This was your wallpaper. The Murcielago became the defining supercar icon of a generation. 2002, Ferrari Enzo. Ferrari just watched Lamborghini grab the headlines for 2 years straight. They had enough, and in 2002 they brought us the Ferrari Enzo, named after the founder himself, and it arrived like a fist through the wall. 651 horsepower from a 6-liter V12 pulled straight from Formula 1, carbon fiber monocoque, F1 derived paddle shift gearbox, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, 217 miles per hour top speed, and only 399 units were ever built. Every single one of them was sold before the car was even officially revealed to the public. 2003, Ferrari Enzo, still the reigning champ. It's still sitting on the throne. Nobody comes close. The Porsche Carrera GT was being developed at the time, and it had 605 horses. It's a starting car, but it wasn't out yet, and the Enzo held the crown, no contest. 2004, Koenigsegg CCR. This is where things actually get insane. Nobody, and I mean nobody, had heard of Koenigsegg, some tiny Swedish company run by a guy who, as a 5-year-old, watched a Norwegian puppet movie about a race car and decided he was going to build the world's greatest supercar. You can't even make that up. The CCR debuted at the 2004 Geneva Motor Show with 806 horsepower, a twin supercharged 4.7 liter V8 that Koenigsegg modified almost entirely in-house. The whole car weighed just over 2,600 pounds. In February 2005, a CCR drove to Italy's Nardo track test and broke the McLaren F1's 7-year-old production car speed record at 241 miles per hour. Just like that, an unknown Swedish startup just killed the greatest car of the 1990s, 2005. The Koenigsegg CCR held that speed record for exactly 2 months because in 2005, Bugatti released the Veyron 16.4, and it might be the most important production car of the 21st century. Liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine, 987 horsepower. The first production car to ever crack 1,000 PS. Top speed, 253 miles per hour. And here's the insane part. This thing had heated seats, air conditioning, and enough luxury inside that you could take it on a road trip in comfort. Bugatti reportedly lost $6 million on every single car they sold, but they didn't care. The Veyron wasn't just a car, it was a statement, a line in the sand, and it changed everything. 2006, obviously at this point, is going to take more than a year for anyone to come up with a response to such monstrosity. So it's still the Bugatti Veyron, untouchable, and Europe was back on top. In 2007, a company called Shelby Supercars, zero connection to Caro Shelby by the way, drove out a stripped out missile called the SSC Ultimate Aero TT down a temporarily closed highway in Washington state. It was twin turbocharged V8 with 1,183 horsepower. In 2007, by the way, 2007, like almost 1,200 horsepower today is already insane. But this was in 2007. The first pass was 257 miles per hour. The return pass was 254 miles per hour. The official Guinness World Record average was 255.83 miles per hour. By this point, the Bugatti speed record was already gone. The Ultimate Aero TT had 196 more horsepower than the Veyron, and it cost less than half that price. But, you know, that's just how it is in the United States, that you're going to see more of that moving forward here. We're just going to skip 08 and 09 because it's still the SSC Ultimate Aero TT 2010. Bugatti had enough and they dropped the Veyron Super Sport in 2010, and it's absolutely vicious. So what they did was they pushed the W16 to 1,200 horsepower, just enough to clear the SSC. They took it to the Volkswagen Group era license test track in Germany, and Andy Wallace drove it to 267.81 miles per hour. Officially certified, officially confirmed, officially back on top. Only 48 were made, all sold before a single bolt was tightened, and if you want one today, you're gonna need to find a time machine. Years 2011 and 2012, Bugatti is still king, but in 2012, a Texas tuning company named Hennessey started delivering something called the Venom GT in 2012. Twin turbo Chevy V8 claimed 1,244 horsepower based loosely on the Lotus chassis. Only 16 were ever built. Now, Guinness didn't recognize this as a production car record, so there was a little bit of controversy, and in 2013, we're gonna explore what we're referring to, but this was the highest horsepower car in 2012, overtaking the Bugatti Veyron Super Sport. Now, 2013, the controversy year. The Venom GT did a one-way run at Kennedy Space Center, hitting 270.49 miles per hour, faster than the Bugatti Super Sport, but Guinness requires a two-way average, and Hennessey only ran one direction. So technically, Bugatti kept the official crown for the fastest car, but the Hennessey Venom GT had more power. Now, 2014, Koenigsegg is back, and this time they named the car after the concept. The Koenigsegg One. The 1 horsepower per 1 kilogram of weight, 1,341 horsepower, 1,341 kilograms. That ratio produces 1 megawatt of power, making it the first ever mega car. A new word had to be invented just to describe this thing. Only 6 were built. 6. And Christian von Koenigsegg personally called each customer to deliver the news they got one. This car was operating in a different dimension. 2015, Koenigsegg Regera. In 2015, Koenigsegg just keeps going. 2015 brings us the Regera, which is Swedish for to rain. And it does exactly that. 1,500 combined horsepower twin turbo V8 plus 3 electric motors. And here's the kicker. no traditional gearbox. The Regera delivers power directly from any speed, instantly with zero lag. The 0 to 249 mile per hour run was done in about 20 seconds. 2016 to 2018. Still the Koenigsegg Regera, so from 2016, 17, and 18, the Regera holds its crown at 1500 horsepower. But in 2016, gotta mention, the Bugatti dropped the absolutely gorgeous Chiron, which had 1479 horsepower, which was more refined than the Veyron, which was already a masterpiece of engineering, but it was still 21 short of the Regera, 21 horsepower. This is like losing a war by a single bullet. Now, 2019, Bugatti had been patient, and the patience paid off in 2019. The Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus debuts at Monterey Car Week. Built to celebrate the moment, Andy Wallace broke 300 miles per hour in a prototype at Hera Lesian. I don't know how to say that. The first production car company to ever do that. So 1578 horsepower, hand-built limited run of 30 units, 3.9 million a piece. The Regera was dethroned hard. Bugatti had climbed back to the peak. 2020, the world was falling apart, but SSC North America had everything all together. SSC Tuatara 5.9 liter flat plane crank twin turbo V8, 1750 horsepower. SSC made a record top speed attempt in 2020, and while the initial numbers were disputed, a verified run in 2021 confirmed 282.9 miles per hour officially. America was back again. 2021, Rimac Nevera. 2021, this is where the world changes. A Croatian setup called Rimac, founded by a guy who modified his BMW E30 in his garage as a teenager, released the Nevera. 4 electric motors, 1 at each wheel, 1914 horsepower, 0 emissions, 0 to 60 in 1.85 seconds. That is just insane. And I'm pretty sure it's Rimac, right? Not Rimac, but yeah, whatever. I'm just some dude in my room recording this, so moving on. No turbo lag, no gear changes, just instant, violent, silent acceleration. Now, the microwave didn't just break the power record, it broke our understanding of what cars are supposed to be. For the first time in history, the most powerful production microwave on Earth had no combustion engine. I meant to say car, not microwave, my bad. 2022 to 2023, Rimac Nevera still with the 1914 horsepower. Like, that is not even surprising at all. I don't even think, for the years that BMW has been out, I don't think there's a single, sorry, for the years that the S58 and the B58 have been out, I don't think there's a single S58, B58 that has 1900 horsepower. I might be tripping. 1900 horsepower. Let me tell you how insane 1900 horsepower actually is, right? Because I don't think you guys, fully understand. The G80, right? The S58 and the B58, which is the X58 class in Texas 2K. Both of those platforms has been, how many years they've been out now? I don't know how many years. It has to be at least 5 years now, whatever, right? For 5 years, right? People have been modding these these engines, these platforms for 5 years. They're just now, this year, hitting 1900 horsepower. And this is like the world record build from Tom Wrigley Performance, who set the record for the fastest X58. Sorry, for the fastest BMW X58. I don't know if there's a Supra that's faster. There'll still be X58, but yeah. Which ran a quarter mile at 7.6 seconds. At 183 miles per hour. Ridiculous. But still, that's how long it took, right? That's a modified car, modified to the fucking teeth. And that has, 1900 horsepower. Like, that's how long it took. 2024. Koenigsegg Gamera. Now, we need to talk about the Koenigsegg Gamera because this has 2300 horsepower in a car with 4 seats, 4 doors. This is a family car that could dissolve the road beneath it. Like, under the hood, if you even call it a hood, sits the Koenigsegg's new Hot V V8 engine with twin turbos mounted between the cylinders, paired with an electric motor. The combined output 2300 horsepower. The Rimac Nevera's record is just, it's just gone by at 400 horsepower. Like, you know how much 400 horsepower is? Like, at the start of this video, you know, 400 horsepower for a lot of people, like if you're starting in 2000, 400 horsepower was like insane. You feel me? Like, that was insane. And that's the gap between the year 2024 fastest production vehicle, or sorry, the highest horsepower production vehicle, and the year 2023 highest horsepower production vehicle. That is just insane. And you know what's about to be crazier is 2025 is even about to be even worse, right? The gap is even about to be bigger. Now watch this. In year 2025, we have the Yangwang U9 Extreme, right? Nobody saw this coming. Yangwang is a luxury sub-brand from BYD, which is China's largest electric vehicle manufacturer. Most people in the West have never heard of them. In 2025, September 2025, that changed permanently. The U9 Extreme, 4 electric motors, each one producing 555 kilowatts, combined produced 2,977 horsepower, nearly 3,000 horsepower in a production car with a license plate and a VIN number. The whole thing runs on a 1200 volt electrical system. The motor spins up to 30,000 RPM. 30,000 RPM. For reference, a Formula 1 engine redlines at around 1,500, and only 30 units will ever be built. 30 cars. So somewhere right now, there are 30 people on the list who are about to own the most powerful production car in human history. Think about the journey we just went on. In 2000, 550 horsepower made you untouchable. In 2025, that's what they're making per wheel. Per wheel, right? They're making more than that per wheel, right? Like, can you fucking imagine, right? Pardon my language. The Lamborghini Diablo VT 6.0 SE with 550 horsepower, 2000. The most powerful thing you could get at the time, or not the most powerful thing you could get, but the most powerful production car from that year, released that year. And now it's 2025, and there's a car that makes more than that to each wheel, just one wheel. Like, come on, man, that is absurd. That is absurd. But yeah, that's about it. You know, I mean, I can't go further than that. 2026 isn't over, so I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. So I mean, I have to wait till this year is over to make an updated video. But the horsepower war is nowhere near over. Like, I mean, as we can even tell from Chevy, you've probably seen a lot of hidden Chevy ZR1, you know, pictures here and there, because the ZR1 and ZR1X are just absolutely insane. So I just had to, you know, add them here and there. But the horsepower war is nowhere near over. Who do you think will take it in 2026 and 2027? Comment below.